Okay, so Joe Biden has weighed in on remember, well, he first said this, Biden's final pitch to Georgia. He was trying to get the guy trying to get Democratic control of the Senate. He went to Georgia. He said, or he told people in Georgia, vote blue and $2,000 checks will go out the door immediately. That's what he said. Sounds pretty straightforward. No malarkey there, if you will. Critics say Biden's COVID relief plan breaks the promise of $2,000 stimulus checks. No malarkey, more like, whoa, malarkey, am I right? Whoa, malarkey. Yep. The incoming president says the $1,400 payment will top off the second round of $600 checks, which were guaranteed at the end of 2020, bringing the total to $2,000 per person, he says. Yeah, we wouldn't want to give you a one-time payment that's more than what the other countries have been getting monthly for almost a year. What is this? Is this an actual country or something? Critics of Biden's new plan say the Democrats need to fulfill their campaign promise and provide the full $2,000 payments. That's what the critics are saying. Supporters of Joe Biden are saying less is more. That's what they're saying. Here's Joe Biden. Those $2,000 checks will go out the door, and that's not an exaggeration. That's literally true. That's what he said to the people of Georgia. That's what he said. He said those $2,000 checks will go out the door, and that's not an exaggeration. That's literally true. So he literally doesn't know what literally means. Can I just say, Joe Biden, you are figuratively and literally full of shit. He said $2,000. He didn't say an additional $1,400. That's not what Joe Biden was telling people to vote for. He wasn't saying, I'm going to get you an additional $1,400. No, he said those checks are going to go out, $2,000 checks. He didn't say, I'm going to give you a $2,000 check minus the $600 you already got, and then those checks are going to go out, but it's going to be $40. He didn't say that. I'm going to get you that $2,000 check minus the $600 you already got, which brings it down to $1,400. And I'm going to send that $1,400 check. He didn't do that. Democrats pitching $1,400 instead of $2,000 because we already got $600 is a nice summation of what they think of us. They're like the kind of crew that would just shrug and say, "Meh, look at the other guys." That's exactly who the Democrats want you to be. Hey, I'm sorry. Did I say $2,000? I meant swift expansion of the surveillance state. That's a nice joke there. Jan Hancock. That's a very nice joke. That's nicely done. By the way, this is called the old bait and switch. I'm going to give you $2,000, but what I really gave you was an expansion of the surveillance state. See what I did? It is sort of meaningless to debate the 2,000 plus 600 versus 1,400 plus 600 because neither is enough money after almost a year of COVID. Democrats, $1,400 is $2,000. This is going to be a fun 4 years of utter disappointment. Yep, because nothing's going to fundamentally change. Public Citizen's going to tell you these are all the countries that are paying people while they're in COVID lockdown, they're paying all their salaries. Japan, 100% of their salaries. Netherlands, 90 for Norway, Germany, France, Italy, UK, Canada. They're all paying people's salaries. United States, 0. This is the only country that's happening in. By the way, all those countries have health care. We don't have health care. We don't have a UBI. We're richer than them. Message to all, this is from Sarah Nelson. She says, message to all media outlets and communications people. This is not a stimulus. This is an emergency relief. We are still in the middle of a raging pandemic. We have to get a true stimulus recovery in place next year. Today, we get a lifeline to people and strength to fight forward. She said that on December 20th. She's 100% right about that. This is not stimulus. This is emergency relief. Hey, Biden will seek a deal. This is from January 12th. Joe Biden will seek a deal with Republicans on another round of COVID-19 relief after taking office. rather than attempting to ram a package through without their support. Why wouldn't you try to ram a package through without their support? Because that's exactly what they would do.
No kidding.
That's exactly what they would do. Why wouldn't you ram it through? That's why we voted for you, so you could do what you want. You don't win the election and then go, let's start doing some of the shit that people lost to. That's not what the Republicans ever do, but this is why you don't vote for Joe Biden. This is why, because he's only going to do what the Republicans would have did anyway. He's going to seek a deal with the Republicans.
Thank God.
Rather than ram a progressive deal or a bill that helps people. And rather than helping people, I'm going to seek a deal that doesn't help them as much for no reason whatsoever. He's a man of his word when it comes to Republicans. Working people, not so much, Joe Biden. Biden's transition staff briefed aides to congressional Democrats on Tuesday about the plans to work with the GOP and not use so-called budget reconciliation in an initial stimulus package. Don't use the power we have to do stuff. Don't use the power we have to actually help people right away. Let's keep our powder dry. As Malcolm Fleshner says, how big is that room, you think, where the Democrats are keeping their powder dry? How big is that room? How much powder do you have to store? When are you going to ever fire a shot and flex your power? Ever. Never. So they're not going to use reconciliation. This is what this is called. So that's a legislative maneuver that means the Democrats get to do what the fuck they want. That's what reconciliation is. That means they don't need the Republicans. And they can't filibuster it. That's what reconciliation means. That the Republicans can't filibuster this thing. That's what this means. And Joe Biden is saying, no, we're not going to flex our power. We're not doing that. We're not using reconciliation. It says it right there. Not use budget reconciliation. Not use. You know all that stuff Bernie Sanders was saying last week about how he's going to force through stuff with reconciliation to get people health care? Joe Biden said no. And so Bernie Sanders also will be saying no. Because Bernie Sanders already said, I'm only going to do what Joe Biden says I can do. That's what Bernie Sanders said. I didn't say that. Bernie Sanders said that. He's only going to do what Joe Biden lets him do. That's what Bernie Sanders said. And so Joe Biden says, hey, that shit you want to use reconciliation to get people help during this pandemic, Bernie, go pound sand. We're not doing it. And so we're not doing it. So all that shit that Bernie said about vote for Biden will push him left, they're not doing that. That's not happening. They're only doing whatever Joe Biden says is okay to do. And Bernie, that's what Bernie said. So all that shit they told you before November to do that, we're going to move him left, they were lying to you. Because ain't nobody moving him left. The approach means a smaller initial package that features priorities favored by Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. Republicans are still in charge, you guys. They're still, you elect Republicans, they do Republican stuff. You elect Democrats, they do Republican stuff. The idea is to forego using a special budget process that would remove the need to get support of at least 10 Republicans in the Senate. So that's what we're talking about. Joe Manchin, a Democrat, says he will absolutely not support $2,000 stimulus checks. Hey, that blue no matter who. You got to vote blue no matter who. Blue no way on stimulus checks no matter who. Stocks dropped from an all-time high after a report that West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin will oppose further direct aid payments, denting hopes for another sweeping spending bill. Bernie Sanders weighed in on Joe Biden doing this. Joe Biden effing us again, going with $1,400 instead of the $2,000 he promised, and not having us use reconciliation. Bernie Sanders weighed in on it. Let's see what he said. Did he blow Joe Biden? Did he blast him for it? Did he blow him out of the water? Did he blast him? Let's see. President-elect Biden's COVID rescue plan will begin to provide our people with a much-needed support, such as $2,000 direct payments. That's not happening. That's not happening. He's making that up. I look forward to working with him and my colleagues in Congress to urgently provide bold relief in working families. Well, at least he's not tweeting bullshit about Putin anymore. Remember Bernie's fantastic tweets about how Putin is controlling its country? At least he's not doing that. At least he's just lying about Joe Biden, what he's doing. Hey, $14 checks are not $2,000 checks, Bernie. You were great when you were listening to us, and nowadays it seemed like you're lying to us to build Biden up. Beginning with telling us the right-winger would be the next FDR. Are you with the people or are you with the Democratic Party? Bernie is with the people when the Democratic Party say it's okay to be with the people. And when they say it's not, he's with Joe Biden. That's manifest. I don't have. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not making that up. I'm pointing it out. Bernie, not for hashtag force the vote, by the way. Who are you? It's almost embarrassing at this point. That's Cali girl talking to Bernie. Still no health care in a pandemic bill. These are people responding to Bernie. These aren't right-wingers responding to Bernie. These are people to the left of Bernie. Harvard economists are slowly coming around to the idea that it might be better to give people money than to watch them starve to death. Does that mean Larry Summers is coming around? Because that's the Harvard economist that Joe Biden is listening to. The guy who drove us into the ditch. The guy who helped deregulate Wall Street. The guy who's been wrong about everything. Larry Summers. I think he had to resign from Harvard in disgrace. Did he not have to do that? Can you look at Larry Summers when he had to resign from Harvard? I'm pretty sure there was a scandal. And if there wasn't, the scandal should be that Larry Summers works there in the first place because he's been wrong about everything.
New York Times from 2006 says President of Harvard resigns, ending stormy 5-year tenure. I'm trying to look.
That must be him.
Mm-hmm. It was Larry Summers. That was the title of it.
Yeah. So he did resign. And it was storm. New York Times says stormy. Boy, that's pretty strong words for a guy when they're criticizing another establishment tool. That's pretty strong for them. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.